my friend's man down. See, twists. Look at how great we look. But rain or shine, here we are.
We're here. We're sick, but we're on. We're both sick, but we have
You're
so
more
much
sick than I am.
Mm, I think I might be too. Not so fun, but you know what? When the work is there, you gotta do it.
Welcome to Now Making Moves in Real Estate, episode 46. C Twist coming at you sick, as is the general. I'm not really sick. I've just got a cold, but we're here, rain or shine. And today's topic is, I feel like, brought to us solely by C Twist because she falls in one of these categories, a millennial. So, our topic is how millennials and Gen Z are shaping the future of real estate and what agents need to know to serve them better. So, why is this important and timely? Because these generations make up the largest share of home buyers today. So, their unique preferences require real estate agents to rethink the traditional strategies, and we're going to talk about buying preferences, communication styles, challenges, and how to stand out. So, Courtney, why'd you pick this topic?
Well, first of all, I do have to say, yes, I am a millennial, but I think I would be described as an elderly millennial. As I
I
looked up years, I looked up the years. So millennials are born 1981. Whoop, whoop. That's where I fall to 1996. So essentially, it's 27 to 43-year-olds. So I just made it into that
well, at least you're on the cusp. Like
right?
I,
Yeah.
I don't even make it in there. So,
And then we've got the Gen Zs are 12 to 26-year-olds. So basically our kids, those have just graduated college. We got everyone on our ranch fence team. A lot of those are our buyers that we're working with. So I just thought it was pertinent since this is our main buyer pool right now. And you got to cater to them a little bit differently than you do different generations. So,
well,
you know what I mean?
I mean, I was
There's,
kind of, well, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead, Michelle.
Well, I was just thinking about it, like, you're totally right because no matter how much you want to help your clients regardless of age, we can be focused on customer service, we can do all the things, but if you're not like adapting to technology, you're going to miss the boat with these critical buyer pools. So, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
can agree with you more.
Well, so there's a thing called digital natives, and that is essentially a word that is used to describe both millennial and Gen Z buyers. And it's essentially just meaning that they are obviously they find a lot of value in our and tech driven propositions, as well as experiences as
Mm.
well as experiences. So you combine the two of those, and we'll get into this a little bit more as our conversation goes on. But right, like videos, social media, 70% of them are looking through online platforms for not just homes, but for their realtors, for their towns, for the communities. Like everything
Mm.
is driven through technology with these type of buyers. So I thought it would be kind of pertinent to get a little bit more information on that.
Okay, so let's talk about some stats.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting that a growing percentage of these buyers prefer virtual tours and
Mhm.
remote closings. Like, what does that even mean? Like, sorry to be like kind of dumb about that, but I can't even imagine doing like a remote closing.
I can. Maybe that's
Like,
because I'm a millennial.
I mean, like, what does that even mean?
I
Is
mean,
that just
that
like,
means convenience. It's convenience, right? Like, it's okay, so first of all, the home tours, right? The virtual home tours, that's nothing new.
yeah,
That's been around for a long time. It's just a
right.
great way to see a home without having to physically go there. I think you could definitely add drone footage into that as well. Would be something like
Right.
that. I think people
Mhm.
appreciate. But remote closings, I do think we're gonna be going that direction. I
Like,
mean,
what does that even mean?
I think at some point it's going to be where you're not having to sit in front of a notary even, like, in title, or you do it we do remote closings all the time with notaries in their area. I've closed deals in different countries at embassies or in the past, so
Right.
that's a remote closing, and I just think that it's all about the convenience, right? And for them, that's a better experience because it's not taking up too much of their time.
Oh, I thought it was like something fancy. I was like, what does that even mean? Oh, that's the stuff we're already doing. So, okay, I thought it was like something different than like what you just described.
No,
I thought,
no, but I do see that changing with technology for sure,
I don't know.
and AI and just better ways of, you can have your driver's license on your phone now. Like, there's
Mhm.
just that stuff's changing, I feel.
Well, it's just like how you buy a car, right? I mean, it's kind of the same concept, with all these different ways of buying cars. And you just like buy it, delivers it to your house. So
That's
similar thing. It's a similar
Mhm.
change in the automotive industry. So
Yeah.
um anyhow, well, and then over 70% of millennials and Gen Z buyers use online resources, which you already touched upon. So, like Zillow, realtor.com and that kind of stuff. So,
Well, and YouTube.
oh, yeah.
I mean, YouTube, right? I think YouTube, which is a Google product, YouTube's basically a search engine. And that's where they're going. Look at all the videos. Even we're putting some out there about living outside Yosemite. And as an agent, how are you educating these type of home buyers? Because that's something that's important to them.
Mhm.
Which I think we'll dive into as well. Is just being super transparent and providing education to them as they go through the process. That's all part of that experience that we touched on.
Well, let's just talk about that cuz it's kind of skipping ahead, but I thought that that was like um the whole social media thing, like all the agents, real estate agents that are out there that aren't using social media, and I mean, I was one of them. Like I'm old, I'm late to the game on social too. And it is like if you're not adapting to that, like you later,
Agreed.
later. I mean,
You're
you
dead.
like
Dead in the water. You're dead. Even in the race. You're not
not
even.
even. It's, like, not even, like, a Google thing, like, like, back in the day, you would, like, Google realtor in San Francisco or whatever, or Yelp, you know?
Yeah.
N now it's go to YouTube or Instagram.
Go to YouTube or Instagram. I mean, even for non-millennial Gen Z buyers, let's just think about buyers in general. Like right now, people are staying in their homes an average of 10 years, which is a really, really long time. It's a lot longer than what it used to be. I think it used to be like 5 or 6 years for a while there. So they know how many realtors, like how many realtors do they see are in their world, in their life, and how are you staying in touch with them? That's a lot of work to stay in touch with somebody for a 10-year stretch. And I think social is a great way to nurture relationships. So not even just getting in front of new buyers or Gen Z, the millennials, but just buyers in general. Like that's how you nurture relationships so they feel like they know you and you know them and you comment and you see their stuff and you watch their kids graduate or whatever life events are going on, and it's just a great, great resource for that.
Even, like, referrals. You know what I mean? Like, if agents are, like, looking up agents, in another market and you're not on social media, like, you're not so right? So, anyways, but it's daunting for agents that are, like, more seasoned, to think about I mean, we've met a lot of seasoned agents that are, like, fully embracing remember that, like, 70-something-year-old we met in Cabo that was, like was it Cabo?
Yeah, and she's just killing it with technology and social. Amazing. And anybody can do it.
Totally. So, yeah, I skipped ahead a little bit, but I was, like, thinking that at the end of the day, like, no matter what people obviously like personalized experiences no matter what age. People like transparency, but there's a lot of people that embrace technology, and these particular generations are those people. So, got to get on it.
Well, and then, like, back to the education piece of it, even with at Twist, we developed a whole homebuyer program, where it was free. We called it Healthy Homeownership Program, or HOP for short. You just directly you get it off of our website, you get it off of our social. It was in all of our content everywhere. And it was all video based, right? Like, I think we have 10 steps the buyers can work through on understanding how to save money, what all the steps of escrow are. And we've had marketed ourselves as trusted advisors for about 10 years now. And that's definitely like a term these days, right? I mean, obviously more than a term, you want to be a real advisor, a real trusted advisor for your clients. But I think it's more important now than ever.
So, what are your thoughts on this affordability issue with these buyers? Because it is another area that I'm not super relatable to, with the student debt thing that happened like way after I went to college. But it's a
Right.
serious thing. These people are dealing with some debt, and then like the rising prices of homes. How do we walk those buyers through all of that, navigate?
So was the whole reason we created our home buyer program, was because affordability was so hard, and it's just going to simply take these buyers longer to get to the finish line. And you're going to have to cultivate and nurture that relationship for longer than you would have previously. So it's going to start with way more candid conversations with these young folks, these 43 and under young folks. No, just kidding. No, for the Gen Zs probably, but hey, what are we looking at? Like, what's the big picture regarding debt? Like, do you have any debt you need to pay off? Do you have any cars that you could sell? And is there a potential that you live with mom and dad for 6 months and bank it and not pay rent? Like, these are the realities these days. And I'm okay with saying all that, because Jared and I and you and Bo have done those things ourselves and made those sacrifices to have the ultimate reward of homeownership, or in our case, we've taken it even further with a bunch of investments. So I think it was spawned off of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace philosophy. We hosted peace courses. How many do I think we did 3 or 4 over the years?
At least four. At
We
least
opened it
four.
up nationally,
Yeah.
and met a lot of great people. And then it was also just a give back to our community. And that's kind of where you have to start. It's no longer, let's just start with how many bedrooms and baths. What's your budget? Like, we have to get creative and think outside the box. Maybe look for properties that have assumable loans. Like, you can't, it's not cookie cutter anymore. And you've got to be savvy, and you've got to communicate with these buyers in a way that they'll hear you and what you're saying, and it's not necessarily picking up the phone. A lot of them don't even wanna have an actual phone conversation. A lot of them are by text, and how do you get all that out there? Well, you do it through videos, and then you can rinse and repeat with other clients, and it's not you saying it over and over and over.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, well, I couldn't agree with you more. It's almost refreshing though when you do speak to young people and they know who Dave Ramsey is. You're like, "Oh, okay, you must have smart parents."
I know. Well, and you and I, we have worked so with my husband's company having a lot of young guys in construction, that's an area actually that is a little untapped, because there are a lot of these people working in the construction world that are making prevailing wage, which is a really good income, as long as they know not to blow it.
On
And
trucks.
buy trucks and quads and toys and boats and RVs, or whatever the things are that are so enticing when you have disposable income all of a sudden. And many of them are getting into these jobs right out of high school. So they're not saddled with the debt from college like others.
Mhm.
But they just need to know how to be wise with their money. And we've helped, I mean, a dozen over the years
Mhm.
buy homes before they're even 25.
Yeah.
And I just closed on one last week, and we have another 2 from my husband's company that again, these kids are 21 years old, 22 years old, and they're buying homes, and we're getting them homes. It's just it's taking a while to get them there.
Mhm. They have really good mentors though too. You know what I mean? Like they see their mentors buying homes at younger ages and um yeah. I mean the one buyer that we have that you and I both share, I mean he's like, "Oh, I just want to save $100,000 before the end of the year before I buy a house." I'm like, "Really, bro?"
How great will that be? Gotta have his goals. Gotta have his
No, he
goals. It's
wasn't. No, but the thing was is he was not that far off, and when I talked to him, he was, like, super close to reaching that, and I'm like, "Okay, when you and I were, like, 20, we were not saving $100,000 or I mean, come on." But
no, I was already getting pre-qualified for an interest-only
only
loan,
loan.
and then bought my first house at 22 that was, like, a horrible
Yes.
arm loan. That's why we got ourselves into such a pickle, and that's why we're here now helping these young guys do it the right way because they can learn from our all of our mistakes.
I know, but I mean, by learning through that, and Bo and I, when I took him out to that listing today, this morning, he's like, "How much was that house for?" And I told him, and he's like, "Dude," and we paid 270 for ours, and I'm like, "Well, because we bought at the right time, because we learned from buying in the wrong time."
Yeah.
So, anyhow,
It's just,
anyways,
it's yeah, I can hear you. I just the prices are just higher now. So just like I said,
yeah.
just gotta get a little more creative. Um, they're gotta simplify the process for them just to make sure that they can understand it, whether it's through the videos like we talked about or checklists are great. Because again, checklists can be reshared over and over. You can template your emails or even your text messages and reuse them or use them through your CRM. You could do workshops. We've definitely done first time home buyer workshops. And I think that's a great way to hit up multiple people. I think it's fun to do them in a fun location, like we did ours at a bar once, which was
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Well, that was the one of the things I was thinking about that you did such a great job with your brand over the last, dozen years is just really being looked at as the local expert. Like you did that before like social media, I feel like. And then as soon as social media like came on board, gosh, you remember when I used to do your Facebook post?
Well, yes.
Oh, nightmare. But anyhow, you were so quick to be like, okay, we're going to do these collabs with businesses and giveaways. And gosh, you started doing that way before everybody embraced that and really solidified your ability to be the local expert in a technologically savvy way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, and now it's different though, right? Because there's a lot more people on there now than there, and we've moved on more so to Instagram as our platform, but I think that it's even more important to stand out. So because there are so many people out there, and hoping I'm not going to offend anyone with this because I do love Canva. And we're super excited because everybody at EXP now gets Canva Pro for free, which is awesome because I paid for it for years. But I will say, if you think that all you need to do is make a Canva template and you go pop that thing on your Instagram or your Facebook, that is not enough. Like, that's not going to do the trick. You will blend in with every other realtor that's out there, and these buyers are going to see the same shit over and over and over. So that's where I think again, I think it's no question that reels and stories are looked at significantly more than posts. If you are going to do a post, the trend right now is carousels, meaning that it's multiples and you try to lead from the first photo into the second into the third. Those are getting more attention currently, but it's like trends that you have to stay on top of.
Wait, that's what I mean, though. But you were like you were doing all that like stock stuff way back in the day, right? Like you were doing like just listed, just closed, market trends. Like C Twist brought that all on like years ago. You know what I mean? And now that we're with EXP, we're like podcasts and collabs and like really elevated our game on social. And that's what I've always admired about you is like getting ahead of technology so that you can better serve not only your team, but your clients.
Well, thank you. I just happen to love it. I did have a degree in marketing. So that's a passion of mine is like the marketing, the branding. I always like looking for the new trends, the new ways to get ahead of the curve. And I just think you kind of have to do that or you're just going to get stale. And I think it's hard though when there's all these different platforms out there. So for me, I decided, all right, Facebook's kind of it's just doing its thing. I decided to focus on Instagram over the last couple years, really try to build up followers for my not my personal, but I have 2 separate pages, and that's been good. My daughter, who's Gen Z, who we've had on the podcast, Bella, was like, "Hey, mom, I don't know what's gonna happen with TikTok. You know, there's a lot of talk about that. Is it gonna go away? Is it gonna stay? But I think you probably need to be putting your stuff on." And that's like one that I have not for some reason embraced, even though I know I can just funnel the same my same reels from Instagram onto it. So I don't know.
I
I'm
know, but
iffy with
remember when I started all my stuff, what, a year ago? What are we in? December? Year and a half ago? Like I started TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all LinkedIn, all business pages because I didn't have any of that. I was helping you. Remember I started doing TikTok and you were like, "You own TikTok." And I'm like, "Well, it's kind of hard to, like you can't be great at freaking all of it like tomorrow." Do you know what I mean? And we were like, "We need to build this tomorrow." So
right.
started leaning into it and then got distracted with Instagram because we do so much collabing. So you can't neglect that. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I do agree with you. There's so much on TikTok, TikTok.
Ah, so would you like a Tic Tac?
Yeah.
Well, you can automate that. It's just me not choosing to take the time to do that. You can automate it, have them go into both. I one thing I want to touch on before we sign off though is
Yeah.
regarding YouTube. So YouTube, I have not done a good job with YouTube over the years. I mean, we now have our YouTube channel for the podcast, which has content every single week. It obviously has algorithms and consistency is key. But one thing that I learned through some workshops and when I went to EXPCon, it's I don't want to say it's simple, but it's definitely doable. Like you can just literally use your phone and take some videos and show that you are the expert for your area or you're expert in whatever you want to be the expert in.
Mhm.
And it's pretty simple. And with ours that I just recently revamped, I mean, we're getting like, I don't even know how many more views than we were, hundreds compared to like, oh, I had 6 views previously on old stuff. And what I'm doing is I'm searching SEO terms online of what people are looking for, and then I'm making content around those search terms. And there's AI that you can use to do that to help you see what's current. So some of the ones that I recently did was how to buy a house without a realtor, which sounds
Yeah.
it's obviously catches the eye. And you're like, wait, what? Is she a realtor? She's trying to tell us how to buy one without a realtor? And then of course, at the end, it's like, well, if this sounds like a little bit too much, then you can actually work with a buyer's agent and they can negotiate their fee from the seller. So make sure you grill your buyer's agent and make sure they're good negotiators. Watch my next video. And that was the next video I rolled out. And then we did some on taxes, just the different things that they're looking up, how to what it's like living outside Yosemite, things like that. So, anyway, I do think that that's an area that is going to continue to grow a lot,
Mhm.
in my opinion, Instagram and, YouTube. And again, the YouTube one is really it's a search engine, so that's where they're going to find data, to find info, and that would be a great place to start.
You know who does a great job at that is that Rob Brown agent in, uh, Oakhurst, the Century 21 guy. That's like all he does is just videos and he gets all that's where he says he gets his business from.
It's
And
doable. So I met Oh,
he's
go ahead.
not a millennial, and he's not Gen Z.
Now, I met a guy, he would be I think he is a millennial. Yeah, he's younger than I was. He spoke at EXPCon, and I had heard him in Salem, when I spoke at the conference in Salem, Levi Lasik. And he was a brand new agent in Dallas, brand new, never did any business, started the YouTube, and he sold, oh, it was like an insane amount in 1 year. He has millions of followers. He did it like in a year. And it was all from just consistently. And he like literally in the beginning was just like holding his phone as he's driving through neighborhoods and just talking about Dallas neighborhoods. It was so inspirational. So I literally looked at what the top of his YouTube page looked like and copied it. He said we could do that, with my own stuff, but like, why reinvent the wheel? So I had like a cool cover, changed the photo from my Twist Realty logo to my face because people wanna see faces, they don't wanna see logos. Um, I have the keywords, that's important. You really do need to research. Use ChatGPT. Truly, use ChatGPT and find out what keywords or what hashtags or what you need to put in there so that it captures it
Mhm.
in your caption for your YouTube video.
I think the biggest hurdle for people that like myself that are a bit older is building the muscle memory and the habit of using your phone because, for example, this morning when Bo and I were at our listing, ran out the car, left the phone in the car. It was raining. I have my husband underneath. You could see the visual, right? Bo's underneath the deck, pulling out those boxes. Like, poor guy has his butt crack hanging out.
Oh,
It's
no.
muddy, it's raining, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I should be captured."
I don't even want to capture that. Do not husband's ass on social media. That is not what we're telling realtors to do.
Dude, if it's so funny, though, I could have put, like, some funny, do you know what I mean? It was so bad. It was like it was just such a train wreck, do you know what I mean? And that's the kind of stuff that's, like, showing what it's like being a real estate agent,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing. Like, I could have been, like, videoing the nail in the truck, the tire, and I'm, like, driving into town, and he calls me, "Come back and get Lauren." Like, it was just freaking chaos, and I didn't capture one bit of it.
It's hard when you're in the moment. And sometimes your family doesn't appreciate when you are capturing it, or maybe that's just mine.
Yeah, but if you were, like if you build a habit around it and people get used to it, and that's just a new normal, right? That's the thing is these generations, that's what they're doing. They're on their phones, putting it all out there 24/7, and, you know, it's just hard when you're not in your little generation.
Or vlogging. Now, the one thing I have not got into is Snapchat. Snapping. Now, that's, I think, more of total Gen Z, but I am wondering if that's something that we can leverage at some point. I don't know. I need to check it out.
I've
Ha
had it
uh,
on my phone 2 times over the last, 10 plus years and deleted it. Like, deleted the app. I mean, I'm sure I still have an account, but I can't even remember the last time I was on there 'cause what would I do on Snapchat?
I know, but that's definitely that age group, right? I don't know. I don't know how it works. That one we'll have to look into.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at any rate, I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta adapt. That's the call to action as a real estate agent. Bottom line, if you're not adapting to technology and finding ways to work with these clients later, you're gonna be doing like 2 deals a year.
And there's a lot of tools out there that you can leverage so you don't ta so it doesn't take you so long. If you don't know what
Mhm.
they are, just ask us. Follow us.
Hey, listen, I've come a long way.
Yeah, you have. You have.
So,
Yeah.
all right, well, that's a wrap. Great topic. When I saw that you wanted to discuss this, I'm like, what the well, you lost me at digital native. So I'm like, what the hell is that?
Tech driven, all about the experience.
Oh yeah, once I read through it, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tech driven and all about the experiences. Provide education. If you do those, you'll be their trusted advisor.
for sure. All right. Well, that concludes episode 46 with now making moves in real estate with C twists and the general sick. Look at us. Do we still look great? Like
I'm
not
going
feeling
back
well.
to bed. I'm gonna go back to bed now. Take
Okay.
my earrings off.
Get some rest. Good night. Good night, my friend. Get rest.
Like at like whatever, 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah. I still got to go to Oakhurst. So,
Ooh.
but got to get my beauty on. We got big things coming up.
Yeah, traveling to Orange County next week. We'll be in the OC doing some strategizing, so that's gonna be
Yes.
fun.
It is going to be fun. So, okay.
Follow
Get some rest.
follow our stories, all things twist, ask the general, because you will definitely see
Yes.
some fun stuff going on our trip.
All right. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Bye.